Mika, 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 Mika.
Mika sucks!
Yeah, that's me! Aha! Hey everyone, I'm Mika Sucks, and today we're gonna be doing something really exciting, fun, and cool. That's right, my Suck viewers, we're gonna be playing the hit game that's been trending on every store, the #1 most sold and downloaded game in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're gonna be playing Minecraft. Just a quick history on Minecraft to those who don't know in the audience. It's a sandbox game, which means you make and build stuff using different kinds of blocks in the Minecraft world. It was in its testing phase called the beta. It was created in 2009 and stayed in the testing until 2011. But because it's been getting more and more content added each and every day, it's continuing to get updates to this very day. And we're gonna be playing it today because we're gonna be building a pyramid. Alright, to start, I'm just gonna put the stand first for our pyramid, and then I'm just gonna build around the pyramids with sand and see how it goes. In history class, our teacher actually talked about this, like the pyramids and Egypt and stuff, and I was like, whoa, that's so cool, because it was like made like long time ago, like way before I was born. Crazy, right? I thought we'd been living for 2,000 years, but it's like way longer than that. Some say it's in the bajillions, but the pyramids, they were made I think like 4,000 years ago. That's like old, like really old. So what's a pyramid, you may ask? Well, let old Uncle Mika tell you the great tale of the one they called Mr. Pyramid. His real name is Snefru, but that sounds lame, so I'll just call him Mr. Pyramid. So, Mr. Pyramid was not actually the first person to build a pyramid. The idea actually came from Joras. See, the Egyptians believed that their bodies should be stored safely after they die, so that they can come back to life later. And because they believed that they could come back to life later, they thought they would need to store their treasures, their stuff, their things, their jewels, all with them so that they can be prepared in the afterlife later. So Joras here thought to himself, well, all my stuff is going to come back with me when I'm dead, so I need to protect it in case anyone tries to steal it. So instead of putting one mud brick like everyone else does, he puts like 6 on top of each other. The man was a mad lad. But that became the first pyramid ever known to man. Now, back to Mr. Pyramid. He was called Mr. Pyramid not because he made the first pyramid, but because he had perfected the art of making a pyramid. And it took lots and lots of work. It took him like 3 tries to do it, but he eventually did. It was a perfect pyramid, not because it was just a pyramid, but because of the edges being smooth and it being stable, and it was so big. So now you might be thinking, wow, that's awesome. That must be the biggest, baddest pyramid in town. Well, you're wrong, cause it's not. The biggest, most awesome pyramid goes to the pyramids of Giza. They're the biggest, baddest boys in town. Let's start with the first one, because there's not one great pyramid, not 2, but 3 great pyramids. And it was only made in 3 generations. That's like me, my dad, and my grandpa made our own pyramids during our own time. That's amazing, right? And that's what happened. The first pyramid was built by Snefru, or Mr. Pyramid's son, Khufu, who took what he learned from his father and maximized it like 10 billion fold. You'd think Mr. Pyramid's pyramid was big, but wait till you see the pyramids Mr. Pyramid's son had made. Try saying that 3 times fast. It was massive. It was clean. It was revolutionary. It was simply awesome. But it didn't stop there. Khufu's son, Khafre, stepped it up a notch. He built his pyramid on slightly higher ground, and it made it easier for his people to build his pyramid. The pyramid is slightly shorter than his father, but it looks way taller because of where he built it. Menkaure built the 3rd and final pyramid, and it's the smallest out of the 3. Alright, we're almost done here. Just need to add the last row. To be completely honest with all of you, there's actually hundreds of pyramids that's been built, but they have all either crumbled or the limestone was stolen. Oh, and fun fact, the first pyramid of Giza was the biggest and tallest structure in the world for almost 4,000 years until it was beaten in 1889 by the Eiffel Tower, that giant radio station antenna. It's still the tallest in my heart though. The pyramids are actually filled with mystery and intrigue, as it took hundreds of years to figure out how they would make such amazing buildings without anything that we have today, like cranes and trucks and lorries and trains and technology and cranes. Did I say cranes already? Anyway, what we do know is that the pyramids were built using limestone, and that comes from the Nile River, and some granite to make the inside look pretty. You see, the pyramids were not just a tomb for the king or the pharaoh, as they call it in Egypt, but it was also a tomb for the pharaoh's family, friends, and it also houses all of his precious items, jewels, and treasures. So the pyramid is a lot fuller than you think. And the pyramid does not only have one massive room, but lots and lots of smaller rooms too. It also has a fake room to trick sneaky burglars trying to steal the king's treasure, like in the movies. And the burglars actually escape with some of the treasures, also like in the movies. Maybe I should just watch movies to learn about history. Seems to be more effective to me. Alright, and we're done. And it doesn't look too bad. But we're not finished yet, because I still have something else in mind. I think I want to build an entrance and maybe like a secret place too. Anyway, the Great Pyramids of Giza were built in about 23 years for each pyramid. So to make the Pyramids of Giza a reality, an entire Olympic-sized swimming pool full of limestone was needed each and every day, with about 1,200 to 1,500 or 1,500 people working on that pyramid each and every day. Limestone was not the only thing they used though, because they also used granite. It was much harder compared to limestone, and it's all cut by hand, using a heavy hammerstone called dolerite. It would take like a whole day just to make small cuts and holes, but the Egyptians are hardworking and determined people, so pounding on a rock with another rock for days and days on end is nothing to them. If it was me though, I would at least take the Saturday and Sunday off, probably the night, and maybe sometime in the afternoon too. I guess I would never get any work done there, huh? Man, that sounds like a lot of work. So, you might be wondering, well, this is all fine and dandy, but how did these people carry these big blocks of stone all the way from the river to the pyramid? Well, they use a ton of things to carry them. On water, they would use big boats. On land, they would have a sled, and researchers have found out that they actually add water on the sand so that the sled is easier to move because it has less friction. It's the thing that we learn in science class. People also tended to forget that Egyptians have all sorts of livestock, like camels, donkeys, bulls, and other creatures that could help them pull those heavy stones from here to there. Oh, an interesting fact, during the time of the pyramids, the wheel was not invented yet. Haha! So that's why they use sled with water. See, the Egyptians are not only hardworking, but they're also really, really smart. Nothing is impossible for them. Alright, looks about done. Now just to add the final details and maybe get rid of this middle thing here. Alright, let's go. That reminds me of what happened in class the other day. When we were learning about this, the teacher asked if anyone could figure out who built the pyramids, and someone yelled out, "Aliens!" I just thought it was funny. But it goes to show, how truly magical and amazing this building is. It's mystical that some people thought it came from outer space or something. But it's all done here on Earth by Earth people. I just find that absolutely amazing. And oh, there's another misunderstanding on who built the pyramids. Of course, we know that the pharaoh was leading the project here, but a lot of people thought because the pharaoh was a king, he would use slaves and force them to build the pyramid. That is actually not true, because researchers have found out that there were entire villages built around the pyramids with all kinds of shops, bakeries, houses, and more. It's easy to think that these people were forced into doing this kind of work, but in reality, all of them had the same passion as their king. They wanted to make this pyramid the greatest, biggest, most awesome building anyone has ever seen. And that came true. To this day, there are still a lot of mystery shrouded in these pyramids, with lots more to uncover. And it's done. Look at that marvelous pyramid. Of course, there's no tomb in there or anything, but it's pretty neat, huh? Well, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks for playing with me. See you soon. Bye. Click like and subscribe. Bye.
The sun was hot, but we could bear it. The river Nile waters flowed, but our pharaoh was getting